It is 5:25 in Banjul. This is News Review. My name is Lamin Jai. So today coming up, the Gambia River Basin Organization earlier this week conducted or organized a media visit to various OMVG project sites in the country. We have a full report on that. And today, Mr. Mamadou Sabali is my guest, former Secretary General and Head of the Civil Service. But before all of this, let's begin with the papers. I have the Point and also Foroya. Today, Point is reporting on migration. It is saying that 3,400, that's 3,400 Gambians in Germany await deportation. AES awards Foreign Minister Tangara orders. Also, President Barrow embraces massive peace project by Gambian musicians there. Jame alleged witch hunt victim discloses about 40 other victims. So those are the stories on the Point. So the Point lead is saying that at least 3,400, that's 3,400 Gambians who are reported to be illegally living in Germany, are living in fear as the German government plans to deport them, even though Gambian authorities are not ready to receive them now. The leader of the Gambian Moral Congress, Mai Ahmed Fati, disclosed this as he wrapped up his Europe tour. There. Since the peak of the migrant crisis a few years ago, Germany, just like other European countries, are at crossroads, especially when it comes to migration. Also, on the Point, Germany alleged witch hunt victim discloses about 40 other victims. Mustafa Sise, a former police officer, staff, and an alleged victim of Gambia's former president Yahya Jammeh's 2019 witch hunt exercise, Tuesday testified before the TRRC and disclosed that on 14 January 2019 he was accused alongside 40 others of being wizards by witch doctors from Guinea-Conakry. Also, AES awards Foreign Minister Tangara orders. The Association of Writers of Senegal, AES, has awarded several African writers, including Gambia's Minister of Foreign Affairs, Mamadou Tangara, and President of the Writers Association of the Gambia, Dr. Cherno Omar Barry, as part of activities marking the celebration of International Day of the African Writer. So that will be all for Point. Foroya today is reporting on ex-policeman, that's the TRSD there. Ex-policeman explains demotion for refusing to take concoction. Intercepted juvenile fish rods buried at Gunjur Beach. FOI, Media Service, Anti-Corruption Bills, orders expected at next parliamentary sittings. Women Leadership Forum committed to closing gender gaps. Also, Enlightenment Forum continuation of Khalifa Salah's speech at launch of Gonga. I think that's on Khalifa Salah's speech there at the launch of the PDIS magazine Gonga there. So the Point, the standard is the Foroya newspaper is saying that this is a development story on the one carried in yesterday's publication of Foroya regarding the interception of a lorry with juvenile fish bound for Golden Lead fish meal processing plant at Gunjur. The intercepted bonga eventually got rotten and was buried along the shore of Gunjur Beach yesterday, November 11th, 2019. I think that's just about that for the papers. So we will be right back.
For the first time in the Gambia, your favorite GSM operator, Africell, is the first and only GSM operator to launch a brand new technology called the eSIM. The eSIM simply means you can use your phone without a SIM card. Do you have an iPhone 11? Any of the iPhone X series? a Google Pixel 3, or any new phone that supports the e-technology, visit any AfriCell customer care center. Activate your eSIM today. With your virtual AfriCell SIM, you can use more than one number without having a physical SIM card in your phone. Enjoy this brand new technology for the first time in the Gambia, brought to you by AfriCell. eSIM, your phone without a SIM card. For more information, please call 111. Where AfriCell goes, nobody dares to follow.
So thank you very much. So we are back, and I am joined by Mamadou Sabally. He's my guest today. Mr. Sabally, thank you very much.
Thanks for having me.
So this is your first time you are speaking to the Fartun Network since the government white paper came out. Yes. Just about 2 months ago.
Yes.
And then your reaction, were you surprised at all to see your name as one of the 33 or 34 people who were named or grossly indicted in Jammeh's carnage, financial carnage? Were you surprised at all?
I'm not. I was not surprised.
And why?
Because with all due respect to the intentions and operations of that commission, it was also a political tool and a ploy. And if you actually looked at the way they started and operated, déjà vu. And the personalities involved in that commission, you know. For anybody who's no novice into Gambian administration and politics, it's déjà vu.
And that is why you are not surprised. But here's the thing. There is no denying at all the number of withdrawals that were revealed, the number of withdrawals that were said to have been okayed or done by Mamadou Sabally in the whole financial activities that took place. And then based on that, the commission relied on that. There was evidence, of course, and they relied on that to say Mamadou Sabally is one of those people who enabled the former president.
I never okayed any withdrawal. To start with, the withdrawals were occasioned by the executive powers bestowed by you on that president. And that's it. He withdrew the funds, and the funds went to them. But they laid a red carpet for him, and he flew out of this country with the national anthem played for him. And now you want to play with us here? How about that?
Well, that is the one who sends the messenger. That we know, of course. The one who got the power, who has the power.
And the messengers are at State House right now. They are in cabinet, sitting with Barrow. I don't want to go too much into details on this, by the way, because knowing their shenanigans and their unrestrained machinations to try to truncate my trajectory in the public space, I took my steps. I went to the courts and appealed. For me, this is not a matter of public banter. It's a legal issue. I foresaw this coming. I filed my appeal. The case has started. Unfortunately, I don't think I'll be able to comment in detail about these things because I definitely would have had to have my lawyer advise me as to what to say or what not to say. But as far as I'm concerned, my conscience is clear. I am completely innocent and I will defend this. They think this is a joke, maybe 3 months, 1 year, people forget. It's a lifelong battle for me. So whoever is in it, get ready.
You're talking about those people who are still there, who have not been punished, who have been named, but for one reason or the other
I've not even mentioned them. Yes, I don't know why.
You have not mentioned them. You have not said, but you are saying they are in cabinet. That is exactly what you
without
said.
A doubt.
But now let's talk about you.
Yeah.
You as in Mamadou Sabally. You as in the former Secretary General, head of this, one of the most powerful government officials at the time. When all these things were happening, the issue of Jammeh saying
by the way, let me correct you.
Yes.
Because you're trying to paint a very false picture.
Yes.
As if it was Mamadou Sabally who was there from '94.
Yes.
There are people who served.
Yes.
I served in that cabinet for
1 year.
Now listen to me.
Yes.
Because you journalists, you are part of the problem.
Yes.
You are trading a false narrative that's being thrown to you by some really people with questionable character, questionable intentions.
Yes.
There are people who served in this government
yes.
as finance ministers for 5-6 years.
Yes.
Their names are not even mentioned.
Yes.
And we know what happened in this country.
Yes.
We are not strangers.
Yes.
We were here all along. We know what happened. We knew who the people who stole our money. And they are sitting on it. They are rewarded for it. Like I said, I don't want to go into details on this
because you are saying journalists are part of the problem, but
yes,
I will take that to be a private opinion. I will take that to be a private. But now let's talk about when you were there. I am now talking about when you were working as Secretary General, Head of the Civil Service, one of the youngest, most powerful.
And this is the problem, because I was young, I became Secretary General, it's always Mamadou Sabally. We know people whose fathers were in this government. Now listen to me. Some of them are talking nonsense on social media. Their fathers stole our money. They'll never mention it. I didn't take a butut from this government. Anybody who knows me knows that I never took a butut. But people who literally stole our money, invested it in their children or whatever you call it, built mansions, and we are seeing them. And nobody's talking about. Like I said, you cannot drag me into a discussion on the details of this because the matter is at the courts.
Fair enough.
So you can try 1,000 times. I'm not going to take your bait. But this is where I will stop from the issue of perception and the hypocrisy that's in the trading of this false narrative that's being thrown around. You know, I'm not afraid of justice. If the ground is level, there is fair play, let every man be held accountable. But you cannot run after the small fry whilst you are dining with the crocodiles and the hippopotamus.
The big fish.
You know.
The big fish, if you like. when you were there, and then all these things were going on, you see Jammeh going about abusing the country's wealth on a massive scale, on a large scale. Did it ever occur to you to say, hey, look, this is not right, and I'm not going to be part of
this is the problem, and this is the hypocrisy that I'm talking about, from the level of those who were supposed to establish the truth, to the level of those who are reporting it, to the level of those who were in it for political considerations. And alhamdulillah, they've failed already because they found out they cannot cage me. I'm here to stay. I'm not going anywhere, inshallah ta'ala. And they try to tarnish my image. They failed miserably, masha'Allah, la quwwata illa billah. Because my conscience is clear. You had at that commission several instances. Nuha Toure, for instance, former Secretary to Cabinet, who came plain and told them. The record is there. I'm glad iAfrica actually captured a video of it. That Mamadou Sabally was actually fired for advising Jammeh against certain financial transactions. And that narrative is buried there. Because those who were pushing the narrative had ulterior motives.
And who are these people?
And they, like I said, you're going to try to drag me into the details of this, but you will fail 1,000 times. So I hope you'll stop after this. The matter is at court.
My role I know
your role.
To insist on you.
I know your role.
Look, because I am after the facts.
My friend. You are a striker. I'm midfield 6. That's what I played my whole life in football.
So you're being defensive.
You can try 1,000. Not being defensive. I just don't want to get you to get me into the corner where I have no business being because of legal reasons. I'm going to court. That's the most important part. All this talk on media and so on. What you should do, what you should have done, is to go after Batambedu again. Go after Adama Barrow again. Ask them again. Why is it that when Alaji Kurang petitioned this commission's activities for selective questioning of witnesses and other things, why didn't you at least open a mini investigation instead of, you know, defenestrating the young, innocent, honest young man? Never happened in the history of commissions in this country.
So you are saying that they are
I'm
trying
not
to
saying
defenestrate
anything.
You. Is that what you are saying?
I'm not saying
this government.
Look, I'm not trying to.
You.
You defenestrate somebody who is in office. I'm not in office.
But
everybody knows that
to ban you from holding public office ever in the country again, that's defenestration.
It's a political ploy to try to stunt my growth in the public space, and they're wasting their time because nobody can cage Mamadou Sabally by the grace of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. I'm here to stay, and they will find out very soon, inshallah.
Where did you coin this phrase, can't cage me, from? Where did it come from?
It's not just a phrase, it's a spiritual fact that the human mind and soul, roughed from the hands of the Almighty Allah, Tabaraka Ta'ala, you can never constrain that within any space, whether it's physical or public or anything. And I am somebody who's been blessed with the opportunity to do a lot of research as to what helps human beings to become successful and to thrive. When I was reading Boethius's fantastic classic, on philosophy. Yes. I never thought I'd get into these problems. When I was reading Viktor Frankl's Man's Search for Meaning, yes. Mandela's favorite poem, Invictus, I never thought I'll come across these things. Yes. But Allah prepared me for something. So I'm telling, and it's not just, okay, some people take it as, when I say can't cage me, I'm talking about this government, or no. It's an eternal principle. Because Yahya Jammeh tried to cage me, he took me to jail, tried to break me down. Out of jail, I rose, become bigger and better by the grace of Allah, and I thank Allah for the experience.
Did you
when this government came, it's not just the government. They can't cage me sometimes about the rhetoric on Facebook. For some people who feel that if you serve under Jammeh, you should not talk in New Gambia, and they tried all sorts of activities, overt and covert. You try to silence me. That's it. You can't cage me. And it's beyond that also. I am who I am, imperfect as I am, but I'm a human being. I act and speak according to the little knowledge that God has given me and my beliefs, ideals, and convictions, and nobody can control that. Because we know, for instance, I'm a student of Ralph Waldo Emerson, yes. who teaches us that our society is in conspiracy to try to yes. control all of us, to tell us how to dress, how to speak, yes. who to relate with. Yes. Look at my life. Yes. I do what I want to do. So long as I don't break the law of God and man, I am who I am.
So today, when you sit, because there is this argument out there that you were used by Jammeh. Mm-hmm. I mean, it even got to the point of you doing things that a lot of people would say doesn't make sense. You coming on national television, for example, to read a speech that was designed to attack a particular tribe. Do you regret at all your association or your affinity, if you like, with the Jammeh?
I mean, I think Barrow's question comes in his very infamous question, comes in all of this. Where were you? Where was Justice Surahata Janneh and Ami Bensouda when Yahya Jammeh was declaring Gambia an Islamic Republic, counter to the letter and spirit of our constitution? Where was the Gambia Bar Association? Where were all the other players? Like I said, those whose fathers were there, and they never talk about them now, and they talk about Mamadou Sabally. I served my country. Listen to me.
But I'm talking about
I served my country.
Directly with him.
I mean, there were people who were closer to Yahya Jammeh than me. They are still here in this country. They will not mention them because they are their fathers and uncles. And some of you guys are afraid of ruffling some of those feathers. I'm not talking about you in person, but I know how this country works. What I'm telling you, I work for my country. I didn't work for Yahya Jammeh. Was that government perfect? No. Is this government perfect? No. Is there any perfect government in this country? No. Trump is seen as the biggest idiot in town. He has Harvard professors, Ivy League professors working for him. It's about nation building. We made mistakes. Yes, we did. I own up to all the legitimate mistakes that I made. And I'm not afraid of admitting my mistakes at any time.
One thing I also know is that you were so close to Jammeh to the point that he would call you like 11 p.m. at night or 12 a.m. and you guys would talk until morning. That was how close you two people were.
That never happened actually. We never spoke till morning.
But you would, he would call you at night.
Maybe that's a hyperbole.
He would call you at night, and then you two would be on the phone for let's say 1 hour.
Jammeh had a strong liking for me, and he still likes me because he knows my character.
And you believed in him too, because you were with him in New York, and you got yourself into a fight.
I didn't get myself into a fight. You say this is the false narrative that you journalists keep trading. We went to New York as representatives of the Gambia to represent the Gambia at the World Conference, and you had Gambians come there and insult us and attack us. Everybody ran away. Mamadou Sabally, you can't cage me. I came out and faced them.
But so, at this time, the fight against the dictatorship was at its height.
So what?
Was at its height.
So what?
You knew these people, there was a just cause.
There was a just cause for them to come and insult my mother, Lamin Jai. Is that what you are saying?
That's not what I'm saying.
That's what they did to me.
The fight against the dictatorship, that's what I'm talking about. I wasn't aware of anyone insulting Mamadou Sabally.
Are you joking?
Mamadou Sabally's mother.
Are you serious, Lamin Jai?
I was not aware of that.
No. Where were you? Everybody knew.
I was here. I was here.
Look, even some of them who were there ashamed of recounting this incident. It's on YouTube. My friend. You come and insult my mother, I'll deal with you. I will not run away from anybody who comes and insults my mother.
Would you say Jammeh was impressed with your behavior that day?
I don't know. I mean, I don't know. Maybe that made him even scared of me, because when soldiers were running and a young guy comes and confronts a mob, that can send different messages. Anyway, I don't know what happened. They came, whatever they were for. They insulted my mother. I dealt with them. I was in America. I wanted to go out. They put a blockage. I said, I am Mamadou Sabally. I come to America, land of the free and home of the brave, and you say I will not go out. It will not happen. I walked. I didn't even go with security. I go and bought my things and came back.
When you were SG, a lot of people say you were that maverick kind of an SG, someone who was going about creating trouble. I spoke to some civil servants, senior civil servants, who would say, when Mamadou Sabally came as SG, he demoted me, or he moved me to this department. Or even the vice president, for example, there was this thing out there that even the vice president would come wanting to see the president, and you will keep him waiting, and you will pretend as if you are busy.
It's all lies. They are all lying. It's not true. How can I keep a vice president waiting? It didn't even happen once.
But you
that
were
the vice president
on top of the wall.
Now look, hold on. I know all the petty jealousies and envy in our Gambian society, and it's still happening to date. Some people still, like almost 6 years after I left office, some people still can't contend with the fact that a small body bunka boy, Mamadou Sabally from nowhere, became Secretary General, Minister of Presidential Affairs. ذَلِكَ فَضْلُ اللَّهِ يُؤْتِيهِ مَنْ يَشَاءُ. This is the gift of Allah. I know I'm going to hold a bigger and better position than that in this country, insha'Allah ta'ala. Write it in your diary, and nobody can stop it.
Gift of
but
Allah.
Hold on, you spoke to people. So everybody you spoke to said I was behaving badly as Secretary General? That makes me question your intention.
Not everybody, but I spoke to a number of people.
So everybody said I was doing bad things as Secretary General?
That was what they were saying. Oh, he is someone who got intoxicated with the position he held. You know, he would wear his suit and he would be...
You see, they're even talking about the suit. I like to dress nice. I'm a city boy.
Yes, I know.
I'm from Banjul.
I know that. But
we like to dress well when we go out. So, I mean, look, what I'm going to tell you is I was in office. I gave it my best, and I know people who to this day, they'll tell you I was one of the best people who ever handled that position. And those who are in power now, they know how dysfunctional that office is right now. Even Jammeh regretted firing me. I did my job, I did it well, and I did a lot of good things. Was I perfect? No. Public administration is not easy. If I say I didn't do wrong things, I'm lying. But I would not intentionally go and do something wrong. Who was demoting and promoting people? This is the hypocrisy I'm talking about. Jammeh was the one who had the power, and we all knew it. But people are playing hypocrite. Let me tell you one thing, and I've said this 1,000 times over. If I was the one who actually demoted you when I was SG, when I go back, I'll do the same thing. If I was the one who promoted you, when I go back, I'll do the same thing, because I would not act unjustly if it is coming from me. Things that come from Jammeh, that's Jammeh's level. We tried to manage him. Certain things that he was doing was not right. We tried to persuade him. If he insisted, what can you do? Nothing. I mean, if those actions who were conveyed through us, not just me, the entire machinery, have hurt people, disappointed them, affected them and their families, I'd sincerely apologize to those honest people who suffered whilst I was there as part of the system, trying to manage a very difficult situation, but had limits in terms of what to do and what to stop and what not to stop when Babili Mansa reigned over all of us, and we knew he was the guy in charge.
And I know you, when you were in that office, you did a lot of good job too. I mean, that included the reopening. My newspaper was shut.
Thank you for
and
saying
then
it.
You did a lot.
Teranga FM Dito. When they shut it, I went to Jammeh to tell him to open it.
Yes, I understand Teranga.
So it's not an easy job as Secretary General.
You spoke to Jammeh about. So let me ask you now then, what do you think, in your opinion, led to your being tapping, or Jammeh tapping you for this job? What do you think was the reason?
I don't know. Jammeh he fully knew what was. I was not somebody you had to look for in the Gambia at the time.
You were director of budget, of course.
Yeah, beyond that, I graduated valedictorian for Gambia's first ever university home trained graduates here. I was there. I wrote the first autobiographical piece of work in the history of this country, my memoir, in 2005. You know, predating Jawara and Hassan Diallo's memoirs. Yes. Jangi Jolof memoir on the Gambia's first university program. And I was out there talking to young people, inspiring them and motivating them telling them if I can do it, you can do it. So I was all over the place. I was on TV. I was on the Fatu show. I was on the Gentleman show. I was on the, you name it. I was never hidden. I never went under the bed when Jammeh was here. I was out there inspiring the young people. There are a lot of platforms here. The other day I saw them do the Ambassadors Championship, UTG Debate Association. That started with us, with Jimmy Henry Zali, American. Now I was taking out my meager resources to sponsor those things because I believed in the young people of this country. And the seeds, those seeds are the ones blooming now, even though other people, now that the cat is away, they come and play around and try to take credit for everything. We believe in this country and our young people, and we took risks. Were we perfect? No. We apologize for the mistakes we made. No human being is perfect, but nothing was done intentionally. And the good seeds we sowed, you know what? It shall be well, because just last week, I had somebody narrate some of the good things that personally Allah did through me, because Allah is the doer ultimately. I didn't force that person.
Yes.
So we are here. Mbama ko nimboroma meko nko ila moina. Mbama ko nimboroma meko matula bukalong alngata. Na mi tambe ñew suté la ñu banko kana inshallah.
And now in 2016 the change came.
Yes.
I know you were very strong. Sabally was very strong. You were detained. The detention took 4 months, I think.
Yeah.
And then Sabally came to court. Myself, that day I was in court. I just wanted to see how Sabally would look like. And then Sabally came, and then he was working with confidence, and then I was like, wow, they could not break this man. Yeah. But then now, at some point when your ordeal ended, you laid low, and then the change came. And then at the outset,
no, I mean, I was in detention during the impasse.
Yes, you were in detention, and then later released. And then when the change came, after the impasse, of course, you laid low.
What do you mean by laid low?
I have met you a few times, and all you would say, you were trying to stay away from the coalition government.
Yes.
You were doing that.
That's true.
Why did you choose that path?
No, because look, I know this country very well. I knew that at that time, the thinking of the powers that be and their cronies were actually that anybody who ever worked under Jammeh should not only have a role in the government, should not even have space in New Gambia. That's the narrative they were trading. And I know myself, I'm not going to go and bow down to anybody. I'm a Gambian. If the Gambia needs my services, fine. I'm not going to go and bootlick anybody to give me a job. And I'm not going to allow anybody to silence me, whether it's New Gambia or Old Gambia. So that's why I stayed away from government. But just like now and before, if you invite me for an interview, I will come. If you invite me to a youth forum, I will come. But I just stayed away from the government. And I think that was actually the right thing, because there were people who fought to change that government. And I believe at the time we should just give them space to try their hand at this Frankenstein's monster called New Gambia.
But is that the reason? Is it not the case that you thought that your hands were dirty? So if you come closer to the coalition, they might frown at you or look at you in a certain way?
Well, my hands were never dirty, and I knew that. And anybody who was honest in that government knew that my hands were clean. But the point is, they had a perception that anybody who worked under Jammeh or had some privileges at that time, it was like it was your time, now it's our time to enjoy. This is the reality. And like I said, to be fair to them, there were people who labored for more than 22 years to kick this government out that we were seen to be a part of. If they remove that government, it's only natural that those people would be given the opportunities to serve, because we are not the only educated Gambians in this country. Like Barrow said at the time, they never needed anybody from Jammeh. They had enough educated people. Hello. Welcome to, what's the year this year?
This is the third year.
2019?
2019.
Welcome to 2019, and Mamoudou Njie is finance minister. Gambia nice.
Gambia nice. and then what also happened later, a few months down the line, or a year down the line, we saw Sabally coming out to defend President Barrow. Sabally started to develop this feeling for President Barrow.
Well, you are jumping the gun, actually. What happened first year, I just stayed away.
Yes.
I remember I will not even make any commentaries about the government.
Yes.
Second year, I started criticizing them.
Yes.
You remember that was the time I did that interview when I said Jammeh is smart, and people were insulting me, you know, among other things. But then I saw that the government, really, we all had hopes in this government. Let's not fool ourselves. It's just today that we know they've completely missed the right direction. But we all had hopes that this government would deliver. And then Barrow is a likable person. I have a strong liking for President Barrow. Up to today, nothing has changed about that. Nice person. I believe he's well-intentioned. Does he have the wherewithal to move this country to the promised land? As far as I'm concerned, now I've seen that no. So when these problems started happening, especially the internal wrangling, I really pitied Barrow. Because I felt that this guy, he didn't seek this position. We are the ones collectively who put him on the seat. And then you had all these fights. And when he said that there was, I remember he traveled to China or somewhere, he came back, he said, you know, this is when the power struggle started between him and the UDP. And he said, you know, okay, he's an independent candidate, coalition leader.
Yes.
I mean, he's not a politician, he's going to focus on his work. Yes. So he went to URR to launch his Roads and Bridges project. And I was invited to join them. I went and joined them. I applauded him, commended him. And I said, you know what, let's support this guy and see. And I did that. And while supporting him outwardly, with no regrets supporting him, I also wrote almost a dozen op-eds in the newspapers, including your Fatu Network, pointing out policy slippages and advising him to do the right thing. They never heeded.
And you were at the rally that was held in Brikama.
Yes.
Sabally was there, and then Sabally wrote something saying, I have never seen such a large crowd.
Yeah, he amassed a fantastic...
Was it that really a huge crowd? Was it?
Look, alingatonya fonyoe. Manso malonde. Baru lunga mem adama baro tata Brikama tata rally keje. That was just, okay, for me, it was the biggest crowd I ever saw at that field, SSP, even compared to during Jammeh's time. And I had a protocol officer who had worked with Jammeh there for almost 2 decades, is serving Barrow now. I asked her, because sometimes I always seek second opinion, because I want to make sure I get my facts. I said, have we ever pulled this kind of crowd here? During Jammeh's time, she said no. So yeah, I stand by that. That was the biggest crowd I saw at SSP. Will he be able to pull that next week, during this tour? If he goes to Brikama, let him try it.
But then your divorce,
yeah.
Your divorce with President Barrow.
Which divorce? Where we married?
The withdrawal of your support.
Who said I withdrew my support from him?
I mean that is what it looks like now. Since the white paper came out, and since your name popped in that white paper, I mean, you have stayed back. You have started to revisit your support for this man. I have not seen you since that time. What I would always see is Mamadou Sabally hitting out, lashing out, criticizing the Barrow government, President Barrow and his government. That is the line that you have taken. No,
but look,
is this personal? Is it because of
you are completely you are trading a false narrative here, because you were the one publishing my articles that were highly critical of the Barrow administration. Absolutely, you were the one doing that. But I told you, listen to me.
There are aspects of patronage too in those articles.
Zero aspect of patronage.
I have seen all these articles.
What patronage?
You know,
No.
That is what you do in these articles.
Yes. I want you to bring out all those articles. If you could just zoom on one right now.
Yes.
When I'm talking about policy issues, I shoot straight.
Yes.
I shoot straight. So the point is, I was supporting him, yes. I was pointing out all the policy slippages and advising him accordingly. Nothing was done about white paper. I told you, deja vu. I am not surprised. But were you listening or not?
Now here is the thing. Now here's the thing.
Yeah.
I mean, you cannot have your 2 legs in 2 camps.
Did I say I have my leg in any camp?
I met with you.
Yes.
I met with you at the airport.
Yeah.
What you also did, you stunned the nation, and then Mamadou Sabally was at the airport. The arrival of Ousainou Darboe from his Europe tour. Mamadou Sabally was in the midst of this large UDP crowd.
What's your problem with
and
that?
You said,
what is your problem with me going to the airport?
You said you are on the verge of joining UDP.
I never said that.
That is what you said. You are planning to. The record is there.
Just play the video right now.
The video.
I never said even the word plan. Mansour, please play that video.
If Mansour can get me that interview.
I never said I was about to or planning to do anything.
You said you are considering joining UDP.
I never said that. I never said that.
It is on record, so Mansour will look for the video.
Yes.
I interviewed you.
Yes, I want to make sure he plays this before we.
Of course, we will get there. We can proceed, and once he's done, he will play this video, and then I will put it to you that this is what you really said. But now let me bring you a little back.
No, don't bring me back. Let's go back to the airport because I want to clarify this.
Yeah, no, we will get there once we get the video. We can clarify that. But now
I hope he will be able to get this video because I don't want to miss the opportunity to clarify your misconceptions.
He's got it. Good. So now let us talk about still on the white paper. When your name came out, I think the Kerfatu team did a very good job. Mustafa Dabo did a very good job to lay his hand on this white paper well before the government made the public the announcement, the press conference. But what happened is you went after Fatou Toure, and what you said was a lot of people say was unfortunate on your part. You should not have done that. Why did you do that? Why did you decide to attack the woman? I didn't just attack the woman. I just attacked their unprofessionalism. Why would you call that unprofessionalism? What they did is wrong, and you know that what they did is wrong, and you would not have done that because your platform is not political. Now listen to me. I am not going to go back to that. Fatou Toure knew what she did was wrong. That's where I will stop. Now look, I don't think it is wrong at all. Well, it is your, as a journalist. Look, if I have my sources, now let me tell you one thing. Government department, you know, you guys now listen to me. Listen to me. You know, you journalists, your problem is you feel that you are perfect. No, listen to me. I'm part of you. I know you, Lamin Jai. I know how you guys behave. You feel that you have the right to say and do anything you want to say, and Hanatra Morial Moroti Drong Aliewuri. We saw this TRRC, for instance, the time when the press came to testify. The press was playing victim, and that's true. They were victimized. Of course, was the Gambian press not partly a villain during these 22 years? Well, I'm asking you a simple question. Some of you. So thank you. I rest my case. I will still insist on this because I think they did a good job by investigating and then by publishing that article. But what I would do is let us go with this video, the interview that I had with you at the airport. We will play that video and then we will come back.
So you are also here. It is the return to the country of Mr. Dabo. You're also here. By the way, you okay? What are you doing here?
Well, I'm here to welcome His Excellency Lawyer Ousainou Dabo, party leader, Secretary General, our former Vice President, our former Foreign Minister, and my own very beloved, very close senior associate who I've been close to whilst he was out of the government, whilst he was in the government, and now that he's out of the government, I believe that relationship should continue.
So why do you think this welcome is important?
Well, it's fantastic because we all know the precedents to this. I mean, he was in government, he was let go, he accepted it in good faith. But I believe because he believes in the process of moving this country forward, he didn't rest on his laurels. He decided to move out to consolidate his base. And even the blind can see it and the deaf can hear it, that Lawyer Dabo owns the Gambian diaspora.
Mr. Sabali, are you a UDP sympathizer?
Well, what do you mean by sympathizer?
Are you a member of the
semantics? I am not a member of the UDP yet.
You are not a member, but are you planning to become one?
Well, if any serious person who is interested in Gambian politics is supposed to choose a party, you will be a fool not to consider UDP as an option. Thank you.
Thank you very much. That's Mr. Sabali there, sorry.
So that is what you are suggesting. The suggestion
am suggesting.
That is what you are suggesting. Okay. The suggestion is that is the suggestion, because I asked you whether you are a member of this party. You said not yet, and then I put to you, are you planning to join UDP? And you said anybody who is serious or who is serious enough would be a fool not to consider joining UDP. That's a statement of fact. So that is a suggestion. That suggestion that UDP is the party to go to. That is what you are suggesting. Are you planning to join UDP? You should have asked this question. Yes.
But you are saying I have my foot in two camps. That's what you were saying.
But
and
that is what it looks like. You went
my
there,
video disproved your premise.
You went. That is exactly
now
what
the point is, and that's why. Okay, now let's go ahead to clear this.
Yes.
I went to airport to welcome lawyer Ousainou Darboe, leader of the biggest political party in this country, and I did it gladly. And I said in subsequent interviews at the airport that was not the first time I'm interacting with the UDP. If you look at my Facebook post this morning, I posted a picture of me wearing Honorable Sekou Bajaju's t-shirt, yellow, campaigning for him. So it's nothing new.
So how do you reconcile that? Because
reconcile
you have
what?
These two camps. You have the Barrow camp and
camp?
then the UDP camp. These are two strange.
As far as I know,
these two camps are not in good terms.
Yes.
How can you be? How can you have a soft spot for the Barrow camp or for President
I
Barrow
don't have any.
a soft spot for
I don't
for
have
UDP?
any soft spot.
How do you
now listen to me?
reconcile that?
I don't have any soft spot for the Barrow camp. I told you I like Barrow naturally as a person, and I think he deserved my support and our support for him to move this country forward. UDP, my relationship with them is very strong and long-standing, and I said it again and again. Almost 90% of my family are in UDP. Lawyer Darboe, I have strong affection for him. This is not the first time I interact with him. I have thousands of friends in UDP. UDP loves me and I love UDP. Yes.
And you intend to join UDP?
I'm not going to make a pronouncement on your Fatu network as to what I'm going to do in terms of my political moves. So now I don't belong to any political party.
Hobnobbing a lot these days with them.
What's hobnobbing?
Hobnobbing, romancing with UDP members these days.
I mean, I am telling you, I was campaigning for them for the parliamentary elections. What's deeper than that? It goes back to my hashtag. Nobody can cage me. I am Mobudu Sabalia, who I choose who to deal with, who to affiliate with. Nobody can control that.
Yes.
If people want to know where I'm heading in terms of my political trajectory, let them sit down and wait.
And well, now I want to talk to you about the opinion piece you did on Darboe.
Yes.
That also made.
So it looks like you've been doing research on me. I thought you were too busy.
I didn't do any research on you. If you came, you found me doing some work. If you found me doing some work. I didn't do any research.
No,
on
I know
you.
when you go home, you're online.
But then this thing passed on the me, of course. The opinion piece that you did. And in
yes.
your very first paragraph, you said you have never been a great fan of. I mean, the Secretary General and party leader of UDP, that's Darboe, of course.
So you have the article open,
neither have I ever been, this is your, I'm quoting what you said, neither have I ever been dismissive of his towering relevance and undeniable political clout in this country for the past quarter of a century.
Yes.
When did you realize this? Did you just realize this, or this has always been a lifelong standpoint or stance of yours?
Do you need interpretation? No,
but you only said this yesterday or day before yesterday. I mean, did you believe in this? Say, for example, when you were working for the APRC government, did you believe in this?
Can you read the second part of the statement again?
No, the second part of the statement, but you said you have never been,
Absolutely.
You have never been this.
Absolutely.
What I'm saying, this belief, was it a belief that you just recently concocted, or has it always been there? That is what I'm asking you. Because I would not be able to tell whether this belief has always been there.
Fair enough.
Yes.
Now the premise is, and you know, when I speak and when I write, I'm very careful how I choose my words.
Yes.
And I'm glad that I chose them well, because I didn't know that you'll come here and confront me with this.
Yes.
I stand by this statement 100%. I said I have never been a big fan, because if I said I was, I'd be hypocritical. Because I actually never outwardly showed my support for him or anything. So that's a statement of fact, and it's also a literary device, you know that.
Yes.
But the fact that I've never been dismissive of their clout, even Jame, despite all his bravado, he knew that if there was any force to reckon with in this country, it was UDP. Yes, I've always respected their strength in terms of numbers, in terms of their strategic importance in our geopolitics.
What do you make of the present political noise wrangling everywhere? Every corner you turn to, it's deafening. The noise is deafening. What do you make of it? Is it healthy? Is it healthy? It is good. Is it good for someone's health? Someone like me, is it good for my health?
I don't know about you, but it's good for my health because I like politics. So, I mean, I think, like I've said over and over, I think the Gambia, we are going through a difficult transition.
Yes.
And like my good friend and fantastic penman Fode Samate predicted, at the advent of the new administration. Democracy is noisy. So these
Yes.
kind of things were to be expected.
Yes.
I think the rhetoric, well, it could be better, because really sometimes some of the messages coming out, especially in these WhatsApp audios, they can be a little bit scary. I think all important stakeholders, party leaders,
Yes.
opinion leaders need to talk to their base to tone it down a little bit. Yeah, because we're living in a very difficult time, especially this December coming, and you know, 3 years, Jotna, your favorite people, they're still making noise. So I think we all need to be a little bit more careful with our pronouncements.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. So and then you have.
So your list is not exhaustive.
You have the.
still.
I don't even have any serious. I don't even have any serious list here. I just came up with a few things. But then now the political parties.
Yes.
What we have seen, it is a coalition, of course, that occasioned this change. A strange political bedfellows, but they managed to form a united front. Run against former president. They were able to shock the entire world by removing Mr. Jammeh from power.
Now you are calling him Mr. Jammeh, right?
Yes, Mr. Jammeh,
We
former
used to
President
call
Jammeh.
him His Excellency.
I never called him His Excellency, and Jammeh. I have never liked Mr. Jammeh, and I have invited friends, people who work for him as ministers, and I have told them, and I advise people that this man is a drowning man. Do not go near him, otherwise you are also going to drown. People didn't listen. Some didn't, of course, didn't listen to me, and they went near him and they see what it has led to. But now, the political parties now, what we have seen is the disintegration of the coalition. Were you surprised at all to see?
Not the least. I was not the least surprised. And I have a witness to this. I always say this. Bakari Fati, who I was detained with during the impasse, I told him, this government is not going to work. It's going to fail. And he used to be really upset when I made this, because then the hopes were very high. People were hoping and wishing perhaps that this would just come and just run a magic wand and solve. I told him, and now he calls me, he tells me in Mandinka Imuwoliolti, everything that I've told him about this coalition government has happened. I'm not really surprised. And so, but what's the solution? Now we got to fix it. I'm not surprised at all, really, definitely. Everything that's happened, I'm not surprised. Maybe the only thing is, it started disintegrating too early. At least I thought maybe after a year or two they would survive that, and then it's sad. Paradise lost.
One final thing on politics, and I will leave it there, has to do with this issue of President Barrow now saying he wants to do 5 years instead of.
Are you saying
years.
now?
Well, that is what I mean. This thing started just a few months back when he started to have a change of heart.
Just a few months back?
Yes, exactly.
Laminjai, where were you?
I was here.
This guy has been saying this for quite a while now.
I know. I think the first time he came out publicly to say I'm doing 5 years had to do with the meeting he had in Brikama.
No, he said that before that.
He said.
I mean, that was the day he publicly, outlandishly and threw it out there,
and bravely threw it, courageously threw it out there. Do you really, think? Do you have any reservation? Do you really think that the reasons that he's been touting, I have these grand projects that I have rolled out, and then I must see to it that they are put across before I leave, and that is going to take me until 2021. Do you think these reasons are genuine enough for him to, provoke this whole controversy, this whole wrangling?
To be honest with you, President Barrow has not given us any genuine reason to extend his mandate to 5 years. No, zero. Projects? Who said this transitional government was about projects? So projects, so what? When will these projects end?
He's building roads.
Yeah, so that will go on forever. Suppose he does 10 years, and still, even if he does 15 years, there will still be incomplete projects. Will he sit down there till the end of time? There's no genuine reason, and I think he has a communication problem, and they need to fix that, because this is a critical issue. UDP has come out and made a statement on 3 years. 3 years, Jotna is here. Barrow wants to stay for 5 years. He's not giving us any cogent, tangible, respectable reasons. I think he and his team, if indeed he wants to stay for 5 years, I'm not saying they will ever be able to give us enough justifiable reasons, but at least to be able to communicate in a very professional, clear, and at least respectable manner as to, I mean, I'm not impressed so far with the communication, and I've said this before about his public relations. It's really bad. They need to up their game. I have not seen any cogent, justifiable reason for Barrow to extend his mandate to 5.
When you talk about his PR, public relations, and there are people who say it's a disaster. Who would you pin this on? Who would you blame for this?
No, just
give us. There is no crime in someone stating his opinion.
He has no. It's a crime in the Gambia, by the way. But it's Mamadou Sabally. Nobody can cage me.
Yes, exactly. I like that.
Barrow has a head of PR, Ami Bojan Sissoho. She was failing in her duties, and this is the problem with this government. Instead of correcting a problem, they compounded. They brought in Sankare as spokesperson, and when they did, I said this is the worst appointment Barrow ever made. When he appointed Sankare as spokesperson,
why?
Somebody with the only qualification is he's running a blog, attacking people, insulting people. That's all he did.
Really?
And you know, when he came, what happened? Power struggle between PR office and government spokesperson. So today you come with a press release.
So there was no proper direction.
There is no coordination. There is a power struggle within, yes. And the communication minister, who should have known and done better, is not any better. Disaster. So Barrow continues to suffer in the public eye.
What top political analyst said just a few yesterday or day before yesterday in an interview I had with him is that it is not about projects, or it is not about some of these reasons that President Barrow is advancing as the reason or why he's not ready to leave anytime soon has to do with him, the sweetness of power. He said because because it comes with a lot of privileges, and also he said he's also on the receiving end of pressure from his aides, people who want to stay there because of the good life course, the privileges and everything. These people are putting a lot of pressure on him, telling him, hey, no, you cannot leave this place. You've got to stay, and then you've got to continue. Do you buy into this?
You know, I like to disagree with Dr. Sise so that we can have debates, but I have to concede that this time around he's 100% right, and I've seen evidence of everything he has seen. Yeah, absolutely, he's right.
Saps, thank you very much.
Thanks for having me.
For this interview. Thank you very much.
Thanks for having me.
So this is where we'll end it for this interview. I was with Mamadou Sabally, former Secretary General, Head of the Civil Service there. Until tomorrow, we'll be back for tomorrow, a news review. Thank you very much for being there. My name is Lamin Jai.